Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. In 1942, in the cold desert of a small border town in Texas, a group of Cain are kidnapped and mass embraced by members of the fanatical sect, the Sabbat. Out of this group, only a handful survived, and through rituals and mentorship they became the pack known as the Pale Riders. Representing the sword of Cain, they are wielded by a mentor to cut deep wounds within the heartland of Mexico to the enemies of the Sabbat. Juarez on Fire is a Vampire the Masquerade Sabbat chronicle that follows the Pale Riders pack that consists of Mitch, a Lazombra played by Adam, Coyote, a Ravenous anti-tribute played by Alex, Eldrick, a Caitiff played by David, Jasper, a Bruja anti-tribute played by Joaquin, Cora, a Shimizi played by Slavic, and Richard, a Ventrue anti-tribute played by Tillman. If you'd like to contact us, you can find us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM or on Facebook at Twin Cities by Night. We hope you enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Juarez on Fire, Vampire the Masquerade, Juarez on Fire, which is a Sabbat game. For those of you who have not checked out the character creation session, you go back and watch where we went over the characters and kind of the background if you have any questions. So the year is 1942. It's late April of 1942. We come in upon a town called Cedar Creek, which is a small Texas town that has seen their sons be shipped off overseas to fight in the Second Great War. The town slowly has been losing its fight against the bigger cities that reside around it, where citizens have moved towards them for work due to the industrial nature of the Second World War. But in this town is a former vacation resort. The 20s, during the swinging years, was kind of a place where people would go to escape their jobs and what was required around them. We come upon this town where this resort lays in the middle of the town, and you see tumbleweeds come across, and it's kind of a dry April where the coldness of the desert is starting to depart and starting to be taken over a little bit by the warm spring nights that Texas is known for along the borders. Cedar Creek, unknowns why their citizens find themselves at night being very weary out and about like they did before the Second Great War. Mainly it might be because of the Pale Rider pack that resides within this former holiday retreat. Pale Riders are a young pack, only been embraced for about a year, and have been spending most of their time getting to know the backgrounds of their blood, of their sect, and a bond that's grown unbreakable between them. So what we're going to do is we're going to start where each character is going to talk about kind of what they do when they wake up. And I'm going to start first with Coyote. What's Coyote's evening like when he wakes up? Like, how does he usually start his evening?
He gets up, he goes outside, and he smokes a big fat cigar, stares out at the desert night air, and he thinks about what kind of, how he can make a bit of money tonight, and where he can find a good feeding ground. He's not a complex person.
Coyote is a very territorial person, right? He finds this haven for your pact to kind of be almost sacred, and doesn't like when people not uninvited encroach upon it, right?
Absolutely. He's not really an ask questions kind of guy. If there's someone snooping around and, even a door-to-door salesman turns up after sunset, I don't know, that probably doesn't happen. But, you get the picture. If someone turns up and they shouldn't be there, they're going to either get out of there quickly or not be heard of again.
Nice. And describe again, for those of you who may not watch the first session, what he looks like.
He's a big, burly, long-haired, slightly unwashed Mexican dude. He's rather scary looking.
Yeah, he's about like 6'6", 6'7", because you took the huge perk, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, he's a very big person. I guess the closest parallel would be someone like the Undertaker, maybe, but not undead and not wearing a ridiculous costume. But he's a giant dude with long, scraggly hair and a lot of muscles and tattoos.
Nice. All right, Eldrick, let's go ahead and tell us about what happens when he usually awakes. And describe what he looks like a little bit in his mannerisms too.
He's an elderly man. He's 68 years old. However, he looks older than he is due to the cancer. So even though he's 68, he's been aged quite a bit by his ailment. So he looks like he's in his late 70s. He's 5'11", white hair, very, very venerable. When he awakens, he automatically is back to the point where he was when he was embraced, which is being eaten alive by cancer. So when he awakens, it's in a pain that, you know, is piercing down to the marrow of his bone. And so obviously he's a crotchety individual. I mean, if you wake up every morning and you're dying from cancer, you're not going to be a pleasant person to be around. He carries a walking stick because he doesn't always repair those injuries. It depends on, you know, how much food is available, whether or not he's going to repair himself. And he's mentally hardened to the point where he's been living with this pain for so long that, you know, sometimes he just deals with it and sometimes he doesn't.
Gotcha.
He's very, very invested in his businesses in Texas, which are being managed by his nephew at this point in time. So when he awakens each night, he goes to his study where he sits down, listens to the news of the war, and reads a newspaper for all of the current events, which he's taken great amount of interest in.
Nice. And also Coyotes or Ravenos attribute, and Eldrick is a Catif. By the way, all you guys have your max blood pool for your generation. Just take one off for waking up. You guys can track that. Dave, your characters, are you healing your 4 levels of damage, or are you just going to keep it for now?
I'm just going to keep it for now.
Tracking. Thank you. All right. Next, we move on to Jasper. Jasper, tell us a little bit about your character and about what he does when he usually awakens.
So, first thing Jasper does when he wakes up is he gets up, puts on his glasses, looks in the mirror, and goes, "Yes, you are going to change the America for the best." And a smile. And then, all right, let's get on to it.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, go ahead.
So, yeah, he's like a 5'11", black hair, blue eyes, glasses, sort of a thinner man, but he was already good looking before, and now with his after his embrace, he just got that dangerous, almost intangible edge to him. Just makes people just like, hey,
like a predatory edge almost.
Yes, almost exactly. Yes, and so he, after checking on the news, after Eldris is done with it, of course, then he heads to the study and just like, okay, so let's go over the notes and see if I can make a speech. What can I do today? How can I enlighten people today?
Very nice. Jasper's a Bruja attribute, which is going to be really interesting with his concept and presence. I can't wait to see. And also, I think everyone, he's had the highest cumulative Waldery rolls for people rolling for him. So he's very well liked in the pack, I guess. I don't know if likes the proper term. All right, let's go on to Caroline. Go ahead. Tell us about your character and tell us about what she does when she awakens.
Well, Cora was embraced also when she was 70 or so. And I'm not sure she even knows when she was born. She grew up on a farm, had a couple kids. 2 of her kids died. Her husband was abusive. After she was embraced into Clan Zimitzi, it was sort of a new beginning because, she could give herself her lost youth back. And so, now she looks about mid-50s. She was working on her appearance a lot in the past year or so. And so the first thing she does after she wakes up is probably clean the earth out of her hair because, Zimitzi, and that soil keeps them fresh. And
keeps them young.
Yeah. And so probably the first thing she's going to do is take a look in the mirror and, take a look at the wrinkles and stuff like that. I think the things she wants to fix, basically, wants to change.
So, almost like she has a new sense of worth now, after
definitely.
A new lease on life, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, she is Shemitzi and also the Pact Priestess. Next, we're going to go to Mitchell the Ductus. Tell us a little bit about your character and what he does when he awakens.
All right, Mitch is in his late 60s. He's weathered, but still stands tall. His hair is scraggly, mostly white. He always has an angry scowl. He dresses very plainly, basic pair of pants, basic button-down shirt, nothing fancy. Well-worn boots, practically worn right through the soles. First thing he does after waking up in the evening is he'll crack open his Bible, read a few passages, say a Hail Mary, and then contemplate what he's going to do to sort of work his way into his new existence.
All right. And he is Lazombra, by the way. So for the last year, you guys actually got to know the individual who spoke to you guys along the Rio Grande. That was the river where that had happened. And his name was Vidar. He was, you found out this last year, an archbishop in the Sabbat. And he's the one who kind of took you guys in a way under his wing. Once you guys as a group decided that this was your best haven here in Cedar Creek, he started not only himself coming here to give you lessons, but eventually sending of the sect to teach you different aspects that you guys need to know. For example, clan knowledge or just so you have general knowledge now of what it is to be a Cainite in the Sabbat. Mitch, you're sitting in your room doing your Hail Marys, contemplating that, you have that crucifix that you have on the wall. I take it that you kind of kneel and you pray towards. And as you're looking up at the cross, and it's kind of, the low candlelight that you have in your room, or maybe the new electric light that has kind of been in there that you have turned on that's dimmed. You notice the shadows that are along the wall seem to recede from it, like an ocean wave going back into the ocean. And as you kind of notice the difference, you turn around, you look, and you see Vidar standing there behind you. He's like 6'3", and this time he's actually wearing long kind of white angelic robes, and he's just simply looking down. You still find it unnerving sometimes when he looks upon you, because while you still find yourself at times blinking or maybe a twitching or some, he at times seems almost made of stone or something that is elemental more than mortal or immortal. He stands there and just simply staring at you for like 2 minutes. He has very pale skin, these old Nordic tattoos that are done with almost like ink that looks green in a little way. But as you look at him, you can see a little bit to where you swear that they move. But it's not like a constant movement, but it's almost like if you look away and look back at him, one may be an inch further back towards his neck or along his face. He has very piercing blue eyes that are almost to match the whiteness of his eyes, and his blonde hair, which is short and cut almost more in a European proper manner at the time than one of his ethnicity, almost has this gleam that is alien in nature, like that seems to be conditioned to its fullest capacity. Almost looks like it's carved like his skin in a way. And as he's standing there for and you're used to this, he'll simply just stand there and kind of look at you but you don't ever get the sense of he's trying to do it in a threatening way. It's just how he is. He looks down upon you. He says, "I need you to gather your pack outside."
Of course, Bishop.
And then as you look at him, he just kind of steps back, and you see him kind of just slowly it's like he's sinking, but also falling back into the shadows, and then he's gone.
Mitch will stand up. He'll put his Bible back onto his bed, grab his rosary, wrap it around his wrists, and he will begin working his way through the communal haven to gather the rest of the pack, knocking on doors or...
I'm already outside, so...
Okay. So he'll eventually have to make his way outside.
Communicate with whatever order you want to,
Right. How long has it been since we've had to do something like this?
he's came and taught you before. I would say himself probably like 3 or 4 months, but he's had representatives of him come probably like on a twice a month, at times just to kind of, they'll spend a couple evenings with you guys and maybe not even like talk to a couple of you, but talk to another two, you know what I mean? Another two, but I'd say in about 2 weeks, but with him, it's been about 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And I'll let you, Mitchell, go ahead and you can talk to each of them on whatever order you wish.
Mitch will go to Coraline first. Hey, we got shit to do. Wake up.
You're not waking me up just for shits and giggles, are you?
No, we've been visited. We have shit we need to do.
Oh, okay.
Now, get the dirt out of your hair, get yourself all gussied up, and get your ass upstairs.
I'm going.
All right. And from there, he'll make his way over to Jasper, knock on the door. Jasper, we're meeting upstairs.
Yes, of course, dear brother, of course.
See you there shortly. And he'll go past Coyote's room and be a little annoyed that it's empty. And then he'll go over to Eldritch's room, knock on the door. Eldritch, we've had a visitor. We need to get upstairs.
Is there never a moment of peace in this place?
No, there is not.
The antediluvians aren't going to wait for you to sleep here.
I'm not sleeping. I'm taking care of business, old woman. Care what tone you take with me, you hag.
That business is going to have to wait. We have shit to take care of. Once Mitch makes his way up to the ground floor, not having found Coyote, he'll eventually look outside and see the cherry from the cigar. Be like,
pick him a teeth with the dagger.
Doesn't need to breathe, and he still wastes time on that shit. All right, kids, let's go. Out the doors. And with that, Mitch will walk outside, walk right up to Coyote. Put that goddamn thing out. Don't you know how easy that is to see at night?
I'll stare at you for a second, kind of ticking over in my brain, and then I'll just put it on the ground and stomp it out.
Thank you. Indoors, at least.
So as you guys are standing there talking amongst each other and you come out, you turn and you look and you see like 20 feet away when you didn't even like hear anyone come, and you see Vidar on his knees. When I say he's on his knees, his posture is perfectly like at a 90-degree angle, meaning he's not like sitting back on his haunches on his knees, slouched over. He's like on his knees and he's like straight forward, straight up, and he's looking almost like at a 45-degree angle at the stars. You can kind of see, and at this moment, you kind of known with dealing with him. You learn, like, even when you, like, the first month or two when you were working with him and he had these moments, you guys would try to say something to him and you just kind of learned it's not worth it. He's ready to speak. But behind him, you see a figure that looks to be like Native American in a way. He has like tight blue jeans on that were usually people who worked on cattle farms wore for like the last 70 years. He has a pair of cowboy boots on underneath him with a shirt, like a button-up plaid shirt that he has tucked in. He has strung on his hips 2 6-shooters. You see that he has rounds that are in like the little leather belt that he has around that holds them. And he has a shotgun that he has slinged on his side, but he has a strap on it, but he kind of like holds the strap. And you learn that wherever you see Vidar, you always see him. He has a stone cold look to him, and you guys have learned that he is a Cherokee before he was embraced. Ilanipi, that's his name. He usually doesn't speak that often. Not that he's like in the military or in the Native American silent guy. He has spoke to you guys on your own, but whenever Vidar is around, he just knows his spot. He always seems to be vigilant and hyper alert whenever he's around Vidar. You know that he has a position of what's called a paladin, where he basically, his whole purpose is to protect Vidar, but you get this weird sense that like Vidar probably doesn't need him. You know what I mean? But he just gives Ilanipi a sense of purpose. And through talking to the paladin too, you guys have also learned that the paladin has a love for you guys that also Vidar has for you. Vidar has multiple times told him that he loves you guys. He doesn't say it with any shame. And so the paladin also shares that same view as you guys. He doesn't look at you guys like any kind of threat to his status or anything to that extent, but he sees Vidar, who has taken a mentorship to you guys, and he feels that it is also his duty to have that same kind of love to you. So as he's sitting there on his knees, he's looking off into the air, and then he kind of like slowly like looks back, and you see like his eyes almost like you see when the clouds go over a moon, that like you see like a black kind of like a murkiness go over his eyes a little bit, then it's back to the pale blue eyes. And he slowly looks at each of you, and he kind of beckons for you guys to have a seat in one form or another. And you guys know, and you have to do, either take a knee or sit, or you know what I mean, like in a kind of a circle in front of him there. And he kind of motions to you guys to do that.
I'll sit nearest the Native American dude, because my guys pretends that he's cultured.
And he kind of nods to you, he nods to you, and like in a sign of respect in a way.
Yeah, I'll give him one back. Nod back. I'll stop picking my teeth with a knife too and put the knife away.
Does everyone else sit down, or what do you all, rest of you do?
Yes, Jasper sits down and just sits quietly.
I'll sit down next to the ductus.
Mitch will get down on his knees first, and then he'll sit on his feet with his legs folded underneath him.
He's going to begrudgingly sit himself down in a painful manner with his cane.
You guys are tight, so you understand what's going on with Eldrick there, but it's definitely different than you guys feel when you wake up in the morning, definitely. Vidar looks at all of you slowly, and then you see him smile. He's like, I'm very happy grown within this last year. And I've told you plenty of times that total freedom is total annihilation. I know that some of you feel that you don't want to have anyone give you any kind of direction, and I understand that. And you have been taught by many that is often a core tenet of our belief system, us who are destined to have to do things for our sect. And that is why I've chose you guys, because you, unlike rest of those from that evening, showed an amount of maturity and of discretion that some lacked at that time. But now your time of schooling is over. That you have absorbed so much of what we have taught you. I have nothing but good things to say from our sect that I speak. But as obviously as some of you are aware in the great motor lives that you lived, that oftentimes with training like this, there's always an end point to it. And then we have come to that time where now we need to utilize you for why that comes, and you kind of see him look, and he kind of looks up at the stars again for a second, and there's like this 30-second pause, and he's like looking at the stars. And it's almost like it's almost like when you talk to an old person, no pun intended to you guys, but that like, you're like, you sit there waiting, and he's looking at the stars, and he kind of looks back at you, and he's like, unleash you upon this world. Put you together, because I believe that you guys have discretion, and you have, like I said, a maturity that is hard to find in Cainites. What I need you to do is I need you soon to travel. Are you aware of the town that is called Juarez, that is on the border of the United States and Mexico?
We are.
Within that town of Juarez, there is a creature of our kind that for centuries I have been looking for. And I've gotten word that he is in this city and that it needs to be destroyed. I'm taking back the pronoun of he, and I'm using the pronoun of it. Excuse me, I apologize. That it needs to be destroyed. In your teachings, you've been taught of a clan of our kind, of Cainites that have not come under our umbrella, called the Followers of Set. Have you not?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at all you guys.
I'll just grunt.
That clan has been in this country, in this land, for a long time. They go by another name here other than the Followers of Set. They go by a name called the Talik. They are Aztecians, and he looks towards you, Coyote.
Mm-hmm.
They are of your blood, and they for the long time ruled this land here as gods, where they receive sacrifices of massive amounts, until our clan, you, Mitchell, and our sect made their foothold here in the New World, while many of the antediluvian slaves, and you see him get a little heated, foolishly tried to hold on to their kingdoms in Europe. But the resistance that we met here came from that group, the Talik, the Followers of Set, a bloodline that is long forgotten to them. Me, my first pack, we were tasked to wipe them out, and we did for the most part, but a handful of them escaped. and they still survive by making deals with the slaves of the antediluvians, or even worse deals. That I want you to hunt down this one that I think that we can find. I want you to whet your swords on there, and I want you to absorb its strength, and you to make the pact and the cause stronger. Do you have it in you, or am I wrong in thinking that you're already?
We will do this, Your Excellency.
Whatever
We'll
it takes
destroy the
to
slaves of the antediluvians.
whatever it takes
This
to
is even
make our cause stronger, we will do it, Your Excellency.
Thank you. And this is worse than a slave of the antediluvians, and almost this is one who thinks he's a god and thinks he makes deals with gods, and that's what I want you to look into. And he kind of, you see him, he goes and he gets off his knees and he sits back like in a Indian style on the ground, and he's like, the El Paso and Juarez, they're interesting in their makeup when it comes to who has control of them. El Paso right now is a strongly held city that is in the clutches of the Camarilla. But we are not worrying about them right now because they are a force that we do not want to reckon with. They have thousands of mortal soldiers for their great war that they're fighting in Europe right now. We do not want to awaken that dragon. But down south below them, not even a couple miles away, resides Juarez, where they turn their nose to activities that go on there, and they don't have control of that area. And it's an area that is controlled by Anarchs, ones who have yet to see the error of their ways and join our cause. Of the clan Giovanni there, but not the Giovanni that you've been told about, not the ones who had the strength to go against their antediluvian and destroy them, but a family of theirs that they have brought into the ranks of their clan. That is called the Pisanobs, and they have one named Marcos, who is there. That he controls half the city of El Paso too, and he is the one who says he has the information on where this Setite, this Tlacul, his name is Itzili, stays at. I want you to go speak to this Marcos and see what he needs. Do what you feel is must. I trust your judgment. If you need to pry the information from him, fine. If you need to make a deal, fine. But I want him destroyed. I want that Setite. I want that false god. I want him destroyed. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Your Excellency.
We do, Your Excellency.
We have a pact of ours that is currently hiding in El Paso. We've always had a presence there that we've kept unknown. They call themselves the Banditos. You can find them if you need to. And he knows, Ilanipi knows how to find him, and he motions back to Ilanipi. He's going to go with you, but he's not going to be involved. He's simply going to observe on my behalf. But he's not going to get in your way because this is a test. Do you understand?
Yes, Master.
Indeed.
Understood, Excellency.
And one final thing. Do not poke the dragon in El Paso. Do you understand me? We do not want to awaken that dragon right now. We do not even need that land right now. I do not want to start a war. Do you understand? Yes, avoid the Camarilla for now.
If they get in my way, I can't promise what will happen, but I'll try and avoid trouble.
We will be discreet.
Yes, understood. All right then. And he gets up and he looks. And he's like, I will go now. I'll let you speak to Linipi. And he turns around and as he kind of walks off again, you see him walk into the shadow. You see the white robe, and eventually it gets absorbed. You see as you look, you see like the paladin Linipi like looking at him like with a sense of like love and caring. But you would know, you know though that that the Archbishop would never like bloodbound him. You know what I mean? To force that adoration that he gets from.
You can't
his
blood
paladin.
down
But that is
someone
his.
on the vinculum.
Yeah. So exactly. So he turns around, he looks, and he's like, and sits back down with you, and he looks over at the group, and he looks at you, Mitchell, and he says, You'll find me on the edge of this town. And he gives you a random like ranch address. There's a small ranch there. That's where I'll reside. You can come to me and find me there if you need anything. Do you understand?
Understood.
All right. He's like, I wish you luck, my brothers and sisters. He's like, you are a powerful weapon. I fear for those slaves of those monsters that I just fear for our enemies. But I don't feel bad for them at all. He gets up and he turns around. He wipes the dust off his jeans, and he goes up. And you kind of like are always you're always off put by the fact that this guy still rides horses, and you see like 100 yards away, there's like a beautiful stallion that's kind of like tied to a thinner tree that's there, and he walks towards it and he gets on there and he rides off. Just so you know, by the way, El Paso's like about an hour away, 2 hours away from where you guys are at. So, all right, scene's on you guys. If you got questions out of character, tell me. Well, yeah, so you guys are tasked to speak to a guy named Marcos Pisanob, Pisanob. What the Pisonobs are their Pisonobs are a South American family of necromancers that were embraced into the Giovanni. And they're like the Giovanni's presence in South America, okay? And what he's saying is that this guy says he has information on Tlacu, which is a bloodline of the Sedites. That's spelled Tlacique, that were worshipped but were wiped out when the Inquisition came by Sabbat. The Sabbat tried to work with them at first out of character because they liked their blood rituals, but then they realized they needed to wipe them out to get control of South America. So they went through and started wiping them out. That Tlacu's name is Itzli. Itzli. Yeah. Juarez is controlled by Anarchs and the Pisonobs Giovannis. And Juarez, the Anarchs, control the drinking in the bar side of things because of the prohibition. Because when alcohol was prohibition happened, people went to Juarez to go to the bars with all this stuff to drink. So the Anarchs, they're making money from that. They're controlling that. The Pisonobs, the South American Giovannis, also controlling Juarez, the seedier stuff that happens, like the missing people, or like stuff that maybe Americans go there to do that's taboo in America, and they kind of like fill your desire kind of way. Across the Rio Grande River in the United States, El Paso is controlled by the Camarilla. Scene's on you guys.
How many cars do we have?
How many do you need?
How many horses do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Horses?
Horses don't need refueling.
They do. It's called feeding.
Yeah, but they do it on their own. You don't have to buy anything most of the time.
I bow to your wisdom, sister.
We could take a car, we could take a bunch of horses. In this day and age, it's probably going to be a lot easier for us to take a car, as much as I'm loath to acknowledge that.
I'm sure we could all fit into my roles.
All right.
Which ain't got a dozen.
And he's going to motion to Jasper to help him up.
Oh, yeah, yes, brother, yes. I'll help you out.
And he'll take his rolled up newspaper to knock the dirt off his $800 suit.
Cool.
Mitch will just roll his eyes and grumble as he gets up.
So,
that damn shoes.
all right, so we must make our way to Juarez. Did anyone need anything before we leave?
Man, we should probably get our crap. I'm
Yeah.
guessing we have weapons stockpiled.
Yeah, I give that to you guys. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How many weapons are we
Eldritch
talking?
has a couple of pairs of what were those, Lugers? I think he had Lugers.
Yeah, I believe so.
Eldritch has a couple
Oh,
Lugers and a couple of Tommy guns that he keeps for his own amusement.
I take it you guys have a full array of weapons that fits each of your personality quirks to the max, dude.
1903 Springfield with its bayonet.
One other thing too. Also, he gave you a name of a hole in the wall that in Spanish is the Black Rooster. But that's where he says that you can find a representative of Marcos is at to set up a meeting with him and everything. So,
Want to meet with the Paladin first, or do we want to meet at the Black Rooster first?
I don't want to show up to the Paladin empty-handed. Let's go to the Rooster first.
All right. Follow your guide, brothers.
All right.
so you guys are taking off.
Yes.
All right. As you guys get in this role, who's driving, by the way?
It's not going to be me. I
I'll
don't drive.
drive.
I'm driven.
No, I'll
can
drive. I'm the youngest. I can.
you want to drive?
It'll look less suspicious when the young person's driving.
So it's going to be a tight fit for 5 people to fit into my Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I'm young too, man. Come on.
Coyote can ride on the back. He can just hold on to the back.
I'll sit in the back with
a couple of kilos off of
Coraline.
you.
Me and
All right,
Caroline.
so who's driving? Okay, Jasper's driving.
Granny Caroline can sit on my lap because I've got a soft spot for her.
Aww.
All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'll brush her hair while
All
we're
right.
driving.
Maybe we need 2 cars.
I think you're the one who would have.
I can afford 2 cars. It's not like
All right. You can have like a
We're going
pickup
on a
truck
road
and a
trip.
car.
Yeah. Yeah, we can let Manuel and I guess Mitchell.
Whippersnapper.
Yeah.
So you're taking a Rolls Royce and a pickup truck. I take it Mitchell's driving the pickup truck. Who's anyone riding with Mitchell in the pickup truck?
Yeah, I'm in the back. I'm in the
okay. Oh, nice. You're sitting in the bed of the truck. All right, and then the Rolls Royce. Jasper's driving and Coraline, and I would take it that Eldrick is sitting in the front next to Jasper. Or is he sitting in the back?
No, I sit in the back
with a cane just propped up.
Now I'll be looking through my newspaper. Flipping through my newspaper.
All right, cool.
Casually.
So you guys are burning down a desert road. This is actually a weird sense of euphoria that you guys are feeling right now, because you've gone out to Cedar Creek and you've done your mayhem and havoc in a way to learn what it truly is to be a Cainite. But this is almost like you're the hound in the race, and the gate was just lifted and that rabbit's going, and that's the road, and you guys are just chasing after it right now, hoping to catch what's at the end. It's almost like a sense of feeling, but also like invigorating for some of you, especially probably you, Mitch, driving that truck. Like you feel young again, like you're in World War I, like you're that young guy who just didn't give a shit. And, Cora, you're feeling like a young woman who's getting to live the life that she never got to live before, almost like a lady having a midlife crisis. She's like feeling young again and vibrant. I'm pretty sure Eldrick is like just reading his paper and doing what he does, but it's almost like you feel free in a way. And all that talk about that you were taught by different people about the Sabbat meaning freedom, that you've really, kind of even had that inkling of what this is what it is. You burn these miles for about an hour and a half, and then you start slowly coming up, and it's like a Saturday evening, and you come up to where the bridges are, to where you can cross the Rio Grande. At this time, this is really before border security was really what we know it to be as nowadays. So most of the time you just had to drive over, just wave, show a hand, and you made your way through, because Juarez wanted you to come there, and Texas wanted you to go there, so you do all the shit that they didn't want to have done in El Paso in the United States over there, and they wanted you to come over there because they wanted your nice American green dollars that was making their city booming at the moment. As you guys get to I would take it, which car is going first, Mitchell or Jasper?
It's going to be the truck. The truck can go first.
Right. All right, the truck, you roll up to where, there's lines of trucks coming through. And you notice at this time, too, like the border security, they're not young, vibrant males, because guess where all young, vibrant males are right now? They're overseas right now, fighting in the war. So you kind of have these old, people that went with you guys before you're embraced, World War I vets, or even older, that are just kind of sitting there to collect a paycheck, who aren't really, being too caring at all about what's coming through. As you drive up, Mitch, you see this guy with the droopy mustache kind of over his lips that hang over both of his lips, neatly cut hair, but it's gray. And he kind of just looks at you, and he has like this khaki outfit on, khaki pants, khaki top, has like a pistol on his side. And he's just sitting in this plastic chair. He doesn't even want to sit inside the booth that he's supposed to sit in. And he just is kind of going like this with his fingers. And he kind of catches eyes with you, Mitch, as you drive by, and he kind of nods, hey, you understand, I understand, you have fun kind of thing. Like he's not going to give you shit. Like you guys have, due to your age, that there's some kind of bond there. And he just kind of motions through. And you see Jasper, you drive up, and he kind of looks at you for a second, then he just like motions you through. He wants to pretend like he gives a shit, but he really doesn't. And then he just kind of like, whatever, get on through. And you guys are now coming into Juarez. As you come across Juarez, it's almost like an overwhelming sense of being in a swarm of people, because you came from Cedar Creek, where it's really small. You're left to being taught to just like humanity being all around you, and this is almost like a statement in the fact that you are now officially different than all this that is around you. You see people walking along the street. A couple are dressed in zoot suits. You see some wearing like bib overalls, other wearing jeans. You see old ladies kind of trying to make their way. You see like Americans walking through the crowd, shoving through, like, with having like homemade beer in their hands, like beer bottles. Even though prohibition has passed, people are still coming here for a good time because it's cheaper than the States. It's now looked at down upon as in like more of the Bible Texas, where they live. And, cars are trying to make through, but people are crossing the street, almost like interjecting themselves between the cars. And like, you get a lot of like touching the hoods, like, hey, chill out, as they try to like go across the street and make their way. You see some soldiers in their uniform coming across there looking like they may be on leave from the training that they're doing. You see people selling fruit and wares and flowers, even a couple of you, and this elder probably annoys the shit out of you as you're sitting there trying to read your paper. You're tapping on the window and you see a guy with like flowers and kind of pointing. You see that, Cora, as that happens. And you see a couple of the Mexicans look at you, Coyote, as you are in the back of this truck, this big old guy, and you see them kind of just giving you a look like, what the fuck are you doing, man, as they walk by. And you see a lot of like lights of signs. Just, you're like, God damn, how many fucking bars or how many like little markets are here or whatever. And it's just along the streets. And as you, especially you, Coyote, as you look, because you have a better angle than everyone else, you're like, this place is almost like you kind of heard about Juarez. You're not exactly from Juarez, but this is like a metropolitan place in a way, almost, with how full of people. What are you doing, Mitch?
I'm gonna just slowly cruise and try to see through all this bright glaring bullshit to see if I can find the bar we're supposed to be looking for.
As you're making your way towards the bar, eventually, like after 40 minutes of just like, God damn, like horses getting in your way. Because that's another weird thing too. There's some people who are still kind of like riding on horses a little bit, and you're like, what the fuck? Like it's almost like two timelines together and molded together, and a whole shitload of people have been dumped into that, and that's where you're at right now.
Mitch will actually appreciate the horse riding. He'll give them enough room.
Nice. So eventually you come upon this bar, the Black Rooster. You see a silhouette of a rooster on there. You pull along the front, right? Because there's not like painted lines, but you can see cars are kind of painted at an angle, and there's like 3 spots there, and you're able to pull along there.
Hello, folks. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded, one which wouldn't be drowned out by random posts and discussion, so that your media could get the attention you want? Well, we have the answer for you in a Facebook group we run called White Wolf RPGs Gameplay and Media. The group is specifically ran with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. We are currently over 1,000 members strong, and we are continuing to rapidly grow with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there. High Level Games, the industry's first choice in taking your games to the next level. We are a podcast blog and new media network at highlevelgames.ca. We have blog posts about all of your favorite games going up 5 days a week, and a podcasting network with actual plays and shows that discuss role-playing games, with more rolling out all the time. We are on iTunes, Twitch, and YouTube. Find out more information at highlevelgames.ca, a site that certainly isn't controlled by a shadowy board of directors of otherworldly origin. That's highlevelgames.ca.
Please, help. They're coming.